So welcome to Our Way Out. Here with me, I got Tristan.
Going on? What's up? What's up?
I got Jeremy,
Yo, yo.
and I got Sammy, the Ren, and
Don't do like that.
and I got
Yo.
Sammy. That's what's up. And welcome to Our Way Out. And today we're gonna talk about the amazing day we had with the incarcerated firefighters that are out there fighting the fires. And today we got here early in the morning. We all had a group workout.
That was a great start to the day. That's the way to start it.
That set the tone.
That's what made it much easier, I think, for us to get together, is having such a safe space for us to come and hang out with each other, and having such a foundation of us all being together. And I don't know, it just worked really well for us to just show up and get things done. We've already done this plenty of times at work, so we already knew what time it was to show up and cook and what the job was in front of us.
Yeah, and I think that's key, having that chemistry and backing each other up, because after our workouts, we broke up in twos. You guys went back home, showered, and got ready real quick, and when you guys came back, Jimmy and myself, we took off.
Of course.
We would have the time to take care of our business, and while all that is going, there's meat smoking.
You guys went and picked up the van. You guys went and picked up salads, breads.
I went back to downtown, showered, when I got some mayonnaise. So
What a team! What a team!
What a
For
team.
sure.
We're killing it.
I can honestly say, like, our team is more like a family. We're so close. And the way that we came together to be able to be part of society and be able to give back. And show these men, that people believe in them and are so grateful. And just to be able to be in that space today, to be there with them and serving them and capturing those smiles, and, just to be able to escape, let them have an escape through a home cooked meal, with love. It's like, it was so great to be in that environment for me, myself. How did you guys feel being there with all them?
Big shout out to Scott Budnick. I asked the firefighters what was the first thing that when they got off the long fire, working all those hours, putting out the fire, and they said that they had sandwiches until Scott Budnick came and brought all this food for us. And I just wanted to say shout out to Scott Budnick, because we were one phone call away, and just that's just our crew. So imagine how many other crews pulled up to show love to these firefighters. So man, shout out to Scott Budnick, and shout out to our crew as a whole, that we were able to pull through and feed these guys, man. It was just a wonderful experience. But just you'll realize how small one conversation can be as big as it can be, One text message can be like, hey, we need you guys to pull up, and we definitely did. We showed out.
Yeah, we're one community, and shout out to Scott Budnick, Angel on Earth. He has helped change all our lives, and he's continuing to do that to others. And now, he's bringing us to this space to have the opportunity to give back, and that's priceless. And like you said, it was food that we made with love, and I think you could taste that, and you could see it in the smiles of these firefighters, because there was a mix of firefighters.
They definitely looked happy. They looked happy as shit.
There were some firefighters that were youthful offenders that were in youth camps, and there was adult firefighters. So it was cool to get there, greet them, and be able to talk to them and share like life experiences, because in one way or the other, we could all relate and with them.
Definitely.
Because Tristan, you were in fire camp yourself, right?
Yeah, I definitely. For me, going back, it was cool not only to help out like all the firefighters and feed them and stuff, and the whole process was great. But for me, it was so cool because I was actually in Pine Grove, and we went and got to feed Pine Grove, and whoever's there now, and just to go back and see see what I was doing. Like, I know they're telling me stories of the fire line. Like, yeah, it's crazy out there. It's hard. We're hiking this and that. And I'm like, yeah, no, so it reminds me of the times that I was there, and it just lets me be grateful to where I'm at today, you know, to look back to where, like, I was there, like, 3 years ago. I was there, you know, I was in their position doing the same thing, and to look where I'm at now makes me grateful, you know, and it makes me want to, like, mentor them, and hopefully I'm inspiring to them to, you know, get out and do something with yourself, whether it's
100%.
you pursue the firefighting, or like me, I had a chance to pursue it, but I decided to go the film route, you know. So it was amazing to go back, you know, and I even seen some staff that I was with, you know, like, so it was cool. It was fun.
Is Pine Grove the camp for the youth or the adults?
Pine Grove is a camp for the youth. So I was in DJJ, so that's where I got sent. It's all changed now. It's not DJJ no more, but it's still the more youth, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it was a great experience. Amazing.
I want to ask you, what were like one of the dangers that you encountered while you were out and fighting fires under, you know, under those ropes as well? Like, how was that?
Obviously the fire itself, but honestly, one you probably don't think of is a lot of trees fall. Like at night, you're out there for 24 hours. Like this fire burns, right? And you're walking through where all the fire burns, looking for like hot spots or whatever it is. And you gotta pay attention, because I swear, I was literally sitting, one time I was sitting down, me and another crewmate, and it's daytime. And we're sitting down, we're watching the fire, like it's called watching line. You just watch the other side that hasn't burned to make sure nothing else starts. So next thing you know, we hear like a loud crack, and we turn around and a tree's fall, big tree falls right next to us. My bag went rolling down the hill. That's one of the like ones you probably don't expect, but yeah, there's a lot out there.
And then from my understanding, you're risking your life for what, only $10 a day or something like that?
Less than that.
Or less?
What was your rate when you were there?
So like say we're not on like a big fire like that, I get like $500 a month. But
Damn, that's a lot.
well,
I mean,
Damn, hold on.
is it really a lot when you're risking your life though?
it's like,
It's a choice.
but on the fires you get paid $1 an hour plus your regular rate. It's like it's not a lot, and when you're incarcerated, yeah,
It's a lot.
But you
seems
also
like it.
you also don't have to be there though. That's
No, you
clear.
don't have to be
They
there.
give you a very
You don't
very
have to be
clear
there?
choice that no, hell no.
But you also don't get to make any money.
You don't get to make as much money unless you go to fire camp, and the main thing is you get time cuts.
So they get they get almost 75% time cuts. So
Yeah.
75 and they get paid. So I mean, the thing is, that's a fine line that people ride when they say that, because you are getting paid time back with your life. You are getting paid 75% time of the crime that you did back. So it's also, there's statistics based on that, because if you did a crime, what about, even just because you're going to fire camp, that doesn't cancel out whatever you've done. I understand, but being the dollar amount, there's statistics for everything, you know what I mean? So we can never break it down to fully to what it is, but $500 a month is blessed for being locked up and being able to provide. I know it helped you a lot, probably buying food, commissary, everything that you needed.
I saved.
How much time were you able to get off? Like,
so I got juvenile life. So I went to YA when I was, I want to say 20 or 19. And I got juvenile life until I'm 25. And I ended up getting out when I was 23. So I got about 2 years off.
2 years off. Wow. Yeah,
That's a long time.
I went to fire
Would you rather have that or $5,000?
I'd rather have my 2 years off.
Think about that.
And also, it beats being in a cell.
Oh, yeah.
It beats being in a cell, and it
That's
makes you
true.
learn so much about yourself, and it brings you close. Like, when you're on that
Outdoors.
crew, you're like, don't matter what gang you're from, what race, or who you beef with on that crew, it's like everyone
You gotta
out there
watch each
working,
other's
and they
back.
come together, you know? It's like a
Brotherhood,
brotherhood. It's like it tears down those barriers that separate people because of whatever background they are, and it makes you come together because you have to. You're out there, like, if you're not working together, you're just gonna make it harder, and you're risking your life at that.
And I think that's a important life skill, going back into society.
Yes.
Being able to put that to the side and, you know,
Work together.
towards something
Work
bigger and
together
better
as
than
a
yourself.
team.
You know?
That's the first thing they ask you when you apply for a regular job in society, is they ask you, on your job interview is like, what is the first group project that you worked on in high school or school, and you have to explain how that project went and how you work in group settings. So I mean, I think that's huge, being able to be in a system where you have to work hand in hand with people that
Start
you're not
teaching you
very
life
familiar
skills
with,
and
you
stuff.
know? Life skills. It's all an experience that you're able to take with
Yeah,
you.
because I was tripping out, and I asked you that question because today we were talking to two people, and they were talking about how they were out there in the nighttime too, and they could just hear rocks coming down, and they're out there with these lamps in their head, and they don't know where these rocks are coming, you know. And I was just like, wow, you're out there at nighttime, like risking your life, setting up fire lines, and all of a sudden rocks are coming at you, you know. And it's just like, man, like shout out to all them, man. Like they really put it out there in the line, and you know, they're trying to do the part, you know. Everything that comes out of them is just like how grateful they are to be able to serve the community, to be able to help people save their homes and stuff like that. And to me, that's like, wow.
I brought it up to them. I thought, even though that it was crazy enough to ask them, did you guys have a little bit of fun? And they said, yeah. Everybody agreed that they were hiking during these fires on the Palisades, and they were having fun putting it out, that they were happy to be hiking, happy to be out there helping the community, and they were just, you know, young men out there getting it. So I mean, what's more better than that? I mean, it was just wonderful that they had a good spirit about saving. I mean, it's a deadly fire, and to have good spirits about that is insane. So I mean, I highly commend those guys.
And I know hiking with all that gear can't be easy.
No,
How much weight?
your pack is 45 to 50 pounds when it's full.
Shit.
So when you start, you have all your waters, 4 quarts of water, your two more in your in there, your hoses, your attachment. Like, it's a lot of gear. Your fire shelter.
What's the hoses for?
You attach them to the main big hoses. So once the fire, like right now, when the fire's kind of dead, you go look for the hot spots. So if there's hot spots, you attach your hose to the main one, and you take it and just like spray it, put it out. You know, you don't have like a big hose.
So you have your own separate hose compared to everybody has their own hose.
Everybody has their own stuff. It's a smaller hose because it's not for, like, you're not gonna put out a big flame, but it's for afterwards. You know, when you're clearing. Yeah, bro. But,
That's cool. I mean, and that's not even including your axe or your chainsaw or whatever they're carrying.
If you're a saw, you gotta carry your saw on your shoulder, and then if you're a puller, which is there's a saw and they cut all the brush, and a puller pulls all the stuff that the saw cuts. So there's 2 saw teams per fire crew.
And they're even during the fires, they're digging, doing all that stuff, preventing the fires from spreading even further, cutting all those lines, spreading even more fire so they can end it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. There's a lot of times you cut that line, and somehow the fire still crosses it, you know? And so all that, you just cut 2,000 feet of line. All right, let's go cut 2,000 more over here because it got past it.
How wide?
4 feet.
Oh,
Straight dirt. Yeah.
wow.
So 4 feet, and you guys are going as far as you guys can, and there's no end point, so it's just
Around the
going.
fire. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So you guys are just going.
And going up steep, like going steep up too, and everything,
Going
right?
up. Yeah.
Do you guys have a clock out point? Do you guys know when you guys will be off, or is it
24
just
hours.
24 hours. You know, there's no clock out.
I've been on fires that have been so bad, though, that they keep us out there for 36, 48.
Oh my god.
Because they need the resources. Yeah, they need the resources.
And you guys, what if you guys say I can't and you collapse?
I mean, obviously, there's medical. If you're like, it's an emergency, then, you know, I mean, they're gonna keep you safe. But I mean,
how do they train you, like, in case of an emergency? Like, say the fire gets out of control and you're trapped. Like, what's like?
that's what your fire shelter's for. So there's
tell me
always
more about that.
Blanket, right?
before you start everything, you always learn your escape route, where you're gonna go if something like that happens. And when something like that happens, you're supposed to be prepared. You take your escape route to this area that you're supposed to go to, and you pull your fire shelter out. You get under it and hope for the best.
So
what is
fire
that
can't
thing?
get under that.
What is that thing? Like,
It's so you don't catch on fire. You're gonna get hot. You could probably get burned, but you're not gonna like go up in flames.
You don't suffocate.
You could suffocate. Like, you could still die in
You're
it,
basically
but
gonna be like in tinfoil,
yeah.
cooking.
you're getting cooked.
So during every year you have to do a training, right? Your crew has to do a training. So during that training, you start off the training by going into your fire shelter, and mind you, it's midsummer, hot. I swear I did that. Went under there. It's not even a fire, you know? It's not even a fire. and I'm getting claustrophobic just being under there, just because it's hot and the heat, and it's like I can't imagine if your life was at risk.
I've only
Fire.
seen those blankets get, or I don't even know if it's a blanket. It's like a thing. It's in that movie.
The
That
real life movie
I don't
based
know.
on a true story.
They like show every. I don't like bringing it up around firefighters because it's like really like
I think I know a movie you're talking
it's the one where
about,
the it's the
yeah.
one where
They die like that.
They died, yeah.
They all
Blankets.
die and they all
Yeah.
get under the blankets.
Oh,
That's why
my
those things aren't 100%. Those are emergency, but they're
Oh, man.
Because the fire was moving so fast with the wind that they just all got captured like inside of the. Because that's exactly how it was this time.
yeah.
The winds were hella high and they were fighting directly inside the fires and they were moving. How fast do the winds? How fast can the fire travel? Like a football field every minute?
I
think-
couldn't tell you that,
That's what I
but they
heard
could
that it's
travel with those winds that came when these fires started. Those winds,
So it's possible.
there was no controlling.
You can't even outrun it if you wanted to. So I mean,
That wind was crazy. It was just
imagine just
Yeah.
burning up a whole
Everything.
field like chasing you. That's wild. So
So Sam, you actually met with the Pine Grove guys before the fire.
yeah, before the fire, I had took a 6-day road trip. I went up to Crescent City, Humboldt County, Eureka, the Redwoods. I stopped at Pine Grove, Growlersburg, the 2 camps that we served dinner to tonight, and we had a football game. It was like the longest yard, man, without the cheerleaders. It was fun, man. We had a Bud Bowl. We served them soul food. This amazing lady came out of the woods. She has a cabin in the woods, and she just came, and her and her nephews came, and they served us the most amazing soul food. And it was cool to see a lot of the guys that I had seen throughout the holidays, them remember me and calling me the drone man because I brought my drone with me. And it was just wonderful to see all of them again. I brought it up to them that I can't comprehend what it's like to get off of the holidays and then have to jump straight into one of the biggest fires of 2020. I mean, in the last couple years, right?
It's the most significant.
I don't think it's the
fire.
most
in this county. In
Yeah.
in this
That's
county,
holy
and I think
shit.
it's one of the most costliest fires.
Definitely.
And
Definitely, I think it's just like so. My main point is it's just wild that everybody's coming off the holidays. It's nice, and then you get a phone call, and I was asking them, what was that like? Are you guys ready for this? Were you guys prepared for this? And they was like, man, it's just regular. It's just how we do it. We were just 24/7 ready, and it's just like that. When we got called up, this is nothing but another fire.
Yeah, because it's not fire season. One of the firefighters was explaining that during this time they actually cut crew because it's not fire season. They
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
people, firefighters that are not incarcerated, obviously, they tell them to take their vacation.
Yeah.
And so when they got hit with this,
Had to
it
call
was like,
them back.
yeah, it was like all hands on deck situation. Come back from wherever you're from. We got to go to battle.
Yeah.
That's why when I seen this on the news, all I could think about was these guys. I was seeing the incarcerated firefighters, and I realized I had some photos that I took on my camera, and I had posted them on my Instagram, and quite a few people were sharing them, for noticing that not many people knew what the faces of the firefighters looked like. They just knew that they were incarcerated and that they were young. So I decided to just share it and put it out there that these kids were, some of the faces of them, and people were loving it. I've seen tons of support from the community, and it was just great to know that people got our back. Even people might not be saying something, but they're definitely looking.
And also these firefighters, they don't know that there's a whole community, that the whole LA is supporting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For them, because they don't have phones. They don't have access to social media,
internet.
They can't even call their fam. I asked one of the youngsters today. His name's Nathan. I was like, hey, are you able to call your family and let them know that you're okay? He's like, no, I haven't. Since we got here, I haven't jumped on the phone.
Yeah, there's
Some guy, Scott called this guy's mom today and he started crying because his mom didn't even know he was out here in the Palisades fighting the fire.
crazy.
She's been seeing it. She's been in Mexico, and she just got back, and she just couldn't be more thankful for Scott texting her that and sending a picture of her son right there, happy as shit.
awesome.
Just had a good ass dinner.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sitting there happy, and he was just sitting there and shedding a tear
Biggest
that he was able to see it, talk to his mother, and let him know that she was safe, and he was saving his community from one of the big. I'm sure she's seeing this stuff
she's
on the
proud.
news. Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
She's probably proud of him right now. That the underdog and putting out the fires in the community, and she's seeing this everywhere. Like, that's my mijo.
Yeah, and also like it's also crazy to think that before this, none of them thought they would end up being a firefighter or fighting fires, and And some of them, you know, the reality is that it is not for them. You know, they told me like, this is not for me. You know, I'm here to finish my program, my time. You know, yeah, I'm battling and you know, I'm doing it now. But when I come home, I have other aspirations outside of firefighting.
Yeah.
And to some, they found the job of their dream.
Their passion.
You know, like, I want to get out and I want to do this. You know, so it's, man, this.
I think a lot of them figured out that they wanted to just be a part of something that had a good crew. They realized that they worked good with other hardworking men, and that they were like, this is probably what I want to do, you know? Not even if it's just firefighting, like just construction or something along the lines. Because when you realize you're useful in those types of things, you know, people need you. You're actually needed on a fire. Like, people reach their hand out. People are like, wow, like, we commend you. People have never really felt that before.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever felt needed until now. And then now that they feel they're the most needed ever in their life.
Well, it feels good to be part of a brotherhood. I think that's why, you know, like, dudes like us end up joining the gang, you know, and like them, they end up joining the gang because it feels good to belong and to be part of something and to know that some guys have your back.
Right.
They're like
You
you're
know,
part of something.
Especially when you don't have that at home. You don't have, you get that in the streets. You run to the streets and get
that's
that,
what I think
that love.
I'm bringing up is a lot of these guys are sleeping on these fires for weeks at a time with these guys, and then they get such like a family environment that when they end up going home, it's like, damn, I don't even want that to end, really, you know? That was kind of like it was kind of fun.
It's not, it's a positive thing.
The positive. It's like, now I got to take that into society and run with it. Now I'm even looking at it from that point of view, because I'm like, it's kind of hard leaving in those places. I want to hang out with those guys more, you know? After serving them dinner and hanging with them is cool as shit. And then now I have to leave and go back to my regular life. But it just all comes back to community, you know? Hanging out with people and being around people in general.
It was a beautiful thing to witness and to be a part of. And also, like, shout out to all the volunteers that went out and just did what they could, you know, that the ones that prayed for all these firefighters, that the ones that, you know, when we were out there volunteering, we went to this park, Jimmy and I, and we just showed up. We're like, hey, how can we help? They're like, oh, we need these waters to get moved over here. You know, we're gonna start organizing food with food, clothes with clothes, right? Yeah. But to see like complete strangers come together, share stories, hug, cry together, you know, like that was really touching and moving to me, you know, and made me proud to be from the city of Los Angeles, you know, like see everyone come together. That was beautiful. So shout out to all the volunteers.
Shout out to this. Shout out to all the whole LA, man. Everybody came together, pulled together for this. Man, hopefully next time we won't need a natural disaster to all come together. You know, hopefully we can start doing things more often. We can have a street shut down, a carnival, a circus or something. You know, bring something to the city so we can all not come together and, you know, make a giveaway, not just for a fire, but just for people in general. You know, maybe this can be a statement that maybe we don't need something bad to happen for us all to come together and be happy and share stories. You know, maybe we can
grateful.
Yeah, just be grateful in general. I think that this is something that we can all take away from this.
Dodgers, Lakers, we're looking at you for this.
Hey, sweet tangy, sweet
Clippers, Angels.
Sorry, we're not in Oregon.
Nah, but all jokes to the side, is we found the light in a dark place, so that was beautiful, and that meant a lot to me. So that's something I'm taking with me, you know, in this experience. What is something that you guys are taking with you?
I think for me is just gratitude. You know, being around everyone, and everyone was just so grateful, you know, and just being more grateful, you know, being more present. You know, I happened to see two guys there, you know, one that I was really close with, and you know, a little bit about me.
Where do you know?
From prison. So I did 13 years in total. And one of my friends that I was walking in the yard walks up on the line, walks in. His name is George. Shout out to George, man.
Shout out to George.
Really changed his life around. And when I was with him, he was firstly coming in, and I was getting ready to get released. But I remember talking to him, and him coming in. He was young, and he will come to me and you know, like seek advice on, you know, how to maneuver the prison style and the prison lifestyle and the politics and whatnot. And I just, you know, we had a great talk, and you know, I went home, and I didn't think like the stuff that we talked about sat with him, but there he was, you know, to get into fire camp from the prisons that we were at, where it was just chaotic and no one was ever really programming. To see him there really like told me a lot of his transformation and the change in the things that he had done to put himself in that position. So me seeing him there was just a moment like, wow, like my guy's really changing his life, you know? And for him to sit there and tell me like, yes, God has been showing me pictures of you and telling me about the things you're doing out there. And, you know, and him just telling me how uplifting and, you know, how that motivates him. You know, when he told me that, it was just like, wow, like, you know, sometimes you go in life and you feel like you do so much, or you don't do as much, and, you know, you don't maybe get that recognition. So for him to bring that up at that moment, like, it was just like, oh, like, wow, like the things that I have done in the past and the things that I continue to do is really inspiring people. And it's like, you know, just for me to be able to be there and see that was just like a moment of just joy, you know, it just, you know, just proud, you know, and that's something that I'm going to take, man. I'm just, you know, everyone's, you know, faces is like stuck in my head, and just happy that just a lot of love was there. You know, you know, the ultimate goal is just, you know, for people to just show up and just, you know, spread that love, you know.
Yeah. And I think something I want to say, like, we've all done time and we've all been system impacted. I think when you're locked up, fire camp is where you want to go to.
Yeah.
You know, like,
That's the goal for everyone to get to.
They feed you better. You get a little bit more freedom.
Time cuts.
Even though time cuts, and on top of that, you're only getting like $1 a day, but you still get to save and have money for when you come home.
Yeah.
And that's extremely helpful. So man, shout out to George.
Shout out to George, man.
And what about you, Tristan? What's something that you're taking from this experience?
Man, for me, it's just to be grateful, bro. First off, just grateful for the firefighters and community and everyone just supporting firefighters for protecting us from these fires. Community just supporting, you know, and just to be grateful for the people I have around me as well, like all you guys. What we have, our brotherhood, you know, it's just amazing for us to be able to come together, do stuff like that for the community, and especially like because I was in there, you know, it's just like when I heard about this opportunity, like it was like, yeah, like I'm there, you know, like last week you guys did it, and, you know, fed them, and I was like, I felt like I missed out, but like this week I got to come, and for that I'm grateful to go help, support, you know, and that just reminded me of just that brotherhood I had in there, you know, and I see that in this, you know, like we do a lot together, we work together, we're with each other almost every day, you know, and I'm just grateful for everything I have, and I'm grateful for how far I've come, you know. So it just made me realize all that, you know, over again. Like, you know, sometimes you need to have your mind refreshed of where you're at today and how far you've come, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just good, you know.
And I think that's why we do it, man, because, you know, when we do go there, we think about you.
Yeah.
You know, like we see you and them, you know, it reminds me of my brothers.
Yeah.
You know, like, man, I want someone to be there for my brothers.
Fuck yeah.
Something goes.
That's exactly what I think of.
Yeah. That's super important.
That's what I take away from this moment. During the holidays, I thought of this. I thought of, when I think of seeing those guys, I think of you guys, you know? Think of how it would be if I was sitting in their positions and somebody came up to me and had dinner with me, how I would feel. And what am I taking away from this? I just want to say, there's a lot of talk in the world about, like, I don't know, communities like being broken up and stuff. And I want to say that stuff's not true, you know? There's still hope, and there's still a lot of love going around everywhere you look. If you look hard, not even if you look hard enough, if you find the light in the tunnel, like David was saying, you know, it's there. Everybody got together. Everybody showed up out of got up out of their house and went to food drives, and tons of people showed up, you know, to support our community. And I just want to say, the underdogs, man, you never know who will be there to save you. Be there to save your communities. The people that are looked over, the people that are counted out, all I'm going to say is, man, give them a second look. They might be there to help you out someday. They might be there to save your house from burning down. Yeah. They might save your pets from a burning house. They might save your grandmother that can't walk and she's still inside the house. So all I'm saying is, firefighters, bro, we appreciate you guys. And as a community, we love you guys. And I'm taking away from the experiences, never count out the underdog, because you never know who's going to be there to save you in the end.
And I'm glad you said that, Sam, because that's key, man. You never know who you're talking to, you know? Like, don't be quick to judge, because, you know, that person might be the one saving you the next day, or saving...
Quick little trip story right quick. So I met a guy today that owned a house that I lived in when I first moved to Los Angeles. It was a housing, and I just want to say it was a full circle moment, because you never ever know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
That person gave me the opportunity to move to Los Angeles and live there for 1 year rent free, and I took it, and it gave me the foundation to where I'm going to be at for the rest of my life, you know. And I took it, and I told him my time wasn't wasted there, and I appreciated every single moment of it. And you know, you'll walk past somebody and never know that they gave you the opportunity of a lifetime, or they'll be there in the future to help you, you know. Wow. So look at everybody like they're equal. Treat everybody the same.
Yeah, and you bumped into them today. As
I speak today. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, same.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it's
beautiful.
Wow.
I was in the same housing as him.
He came with Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, you were in Magnolia too.
I was in Magnolia. I was, and it's helped a whole bunch of dudes, you know.
Still is.
Oh yeah, it still is.
Still a house. Tons of guys live there. Tons of people get on their feet there, and just want to say, man.
So, I'm sure he went back home, you know, feeling like, man, I made the right decision and taking a chance on this program on ARC, you know, because now look at these guys, you know.
He also owns the ranch in Fiddletown, Sacramento.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure some of you guys have been there.
Yeah,
I've been there.
I've had you guys have. Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, you never know where you're at and who you're talking to, because they might be that guy.
That might be that. You might not even think he's the guy, but he's the guy.
So super important to always show love and respect.
Yeah, always.
No matter who you're talking to, that is.
Yeah.
Regardless of how a person looks, how they're dressed, you know, that doesn't mean anything. Always show kindness. And for me, you know, like, man, throughout this whole experience, I learned a lot about myself too, man, you know. And I haven't got so emotional in a very long time. And you know, as we were like volunteering, and I had this moment. There's this kid named Nathan. He's in Pine Grove. I met him when I used to volunteer and go into the Selmar Juvenile Hall. And I remember when he told me, I'm going to fire camp. You know, I was like, don't, man, you know, like, go out there, kill it, man, you know. We'll see you when we cross paths whenever life brings us together.
Yes.
And the first time I went to the Rose Bowl, Scott Budnick invited me to come over. He's like, hey, you want to come and meet the guys? And I was like, yeah, for sure, you know. And I see these guys walking in the line, and I'm just looking at their faces because they all look young. And I see one familiar face, and that's Nathan. And we locked eyes, and as soon as we locked eyes, he stepped out of line. I was like, what's up, bro? You know, like, he's like, man, he came and he gave me the biggest hug, and he held, you know, like, like I could feel the love, and like we missed each other in a way, you know, like, and that really touched me, man. I almost started crying right there and then, but I stayed strong. And, you know, we talked the whole night until I left. And when I was in my car by myself, you know, I let go, you know, and I teared up because I was so moved. And I could see he was tired. You know, he came back from battling. You know, I could see the struggle. So it really touched me. Like, man, I remember when you told me you were going to fire camp, and look at you. You know, you're fighting now. So I also go with, I'm leaving this experience with a full heart.
Hell yeah.
And very hopeful.
Good.
And, you know, inspired by their bravery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to shout out again, firefighters.
Shout out Jersey.
Scott Budnick, Jersey.
Jersey, the man,
all
for
the
having
guys
us,
that
cooking
came
up all this
together,
food, man.
put it all together, man.
Jersey, man, we don't even thank you enough for all this, man. We freaking
Yeah.
For real.
can't even thank you enough, brothers. Man,
Our way out, baby.
Jersey.
Our way out.
Let's go.
Our way out.
Hey,
For
let's,
real.
hey, let's make 2025 the best fucking year ever, man. And let's fucking start putting this shit out there.
Starting it off hot, starting it off right, no pun intended.
Hey, come on now. It's too early.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on now.
getting good.
Hey,
Chill.
Love you guys. That's our way out.
That's our way out.
Our way out.